Hey, welcome back to my corner. A while back, I covered episodes 1 through 3 of LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Now, seeing that people like that, of course, now we're going to be covering episodes 4 through 6. But before we move on to episodes 4 through 6, there's this really cool bonus level. It's a short but good one that you play as Darth Vader. And hey, what do you know? It happens to be called A New Hope. I guess the people making the game had very original names. Now, this is what I like to call TNT Games' version of Rogue One 9 years before the movie was made. We go through the door and bam, murder. After our murder spree, we then try to free C-3PO. After more murder, we can then build Lego. After a few more hallways and a puzzle, we see Leia and R2-D2 just standing there doing absolutely nothing. Leia gave something to R2 that Vader shouldn't have, so obviously R2's gonna go to Vader. Alright, let's move on to episode 4, and god, I hope I'm not gonna have to recap Rogue One. Chapter 1, Secret Plans. Oh god, I just realized this wouldn't make sense unless I covered Rogue One. Buckle up, kids, it's time for a recap. The Rebels steal the Death Star plans, then they transmit their plans to the Rebel fleet. Darth Vader tries to get the plans back by murdering all of these people. Unfortunately, he's too slow, and they get away. Oh, thank God. Can we get back to A New Hope? Great, thanks. The rebels are getting chased by an Imperial Star Destroyer, and get hit to a point where they stop, and then they get pulled back in by the tractor beam of the Imperial Star Destroyer. The Empire storms into the ship. Luckily, no rebels were hurt, and Darth Vader is very satisfied with himself. Leia withdraws the secret plans from her special bank and then opens the door. She also forgot to withdraw all her money from the secret special bank, so she decides to do that. Here come more suicidal stormtroopers through this everlasting cloud of smoke. Then Leia decides to shoot her own allies. 'Cause that makes sense. Princess Leia finds Darth Vader, who's doing absolutely nothing, and 2 stormtroopers at a time, who are effectively doing nothing. Somehow Darth Vader's enough of a moron to not notice the 2 giant bombs directly next to him. When you shoot him 5 times, they just explode in his face, and all they effectively do is generate a cloud of smoke. I would have thought they would have done more damage. We meet up with C-3PO and R2-D2, and Leia wants to give R2 a gift. He doesn't want it, and she ends up decapitating him in order to give it to him. Then she dips on us. Meaning we're only left with Captain Antilles. And whoever the hell this guy is. I promise, 3PO, I'm not gonna drop you into that vat of smoke. I'm sorry, I lied. We save some rebel hostages and eventually make our way to the escape pods. R2 and 3PO make it onto an escape pod, and Antilles gets murdered, and Princess Leia is under arrest. I guess dipping didn't really help her now, did it? R2 and 3PO are now stranded on the desert planet, aka Tatooine, and decide to go their own separate ways. Strangely enough, they both get kidnapped by the Jawas. Chapter 2, Through the Jetland Wastes. R2-D2 and C-3PO are sold into slavery, their new master being Luke Skywalker. Later that day, or that evening, the Jawas re-steal them, which leads to Luke Skywalker looking for R2-D2 and C-3PO by watching a Tusken Raider milk a Tabantha. I mean, they must be related somehow. The smiling Tusken Raider shakes a staff in our face, meaning he's a very obvious threat, and who the hell is that? Oh my god, it's Obi-Wan! Ah yes, Obi-Wan, the master of the high ground and of his smoking hot apprentice. And just to rub it in, he watched his apprentice's hot wife die. Now that he saved us, he's leading us back to his place. That came out so wrong. After going through hordes of Tusken Raiders, we then go to the Jawan ship to free R2-D2 and C-3PO. We finally get back to Obi-Wan's house, and hey, by the way, he finally got a house. Last time we saw him in the Kenobi show, he lived in a cave. Yay, a property owner. So once we get inside, we see the message from Leia, but not only that, we also get Anakin's lightsaber. That gets given to Luke, where he immediately decapitates 3PO. Chapter 3, Mos Eisley's Spaceport. And this is why we don't ride on the roof of a car. I swear to God, I think that's a stock image of a real place. Real quick, Obi-Wan has to force seduce a stormtrooper. And yes, I too died a little bit inside after saying that. Luke Skywalker righteously treats Jawa like a piece of shit. We make our way to a building that has a sensor to make sure droids can't enter, and we find out what we're entering is a canteen. Oh my God, no, this is copyright claim music. That's better. Hey look, Greedo gets detorsoed. Luke knocks over an empty drink, he gets punched, Obi-Wan murders the attacker, Obi-Wan and Luke talk to the Greedo murderer, and he tells him to get lost. And now he's going to his ship with his Wookiee. The same Wookiee we forced to have an Indiana Jones hat. Just kidding, he didn't tell him to piss off. He just told him to go to his ship. We have to kill waves of stormtroopers and an Imperial spy to get into the ship. And there we go, we're on our way to Alderaan. We would be on our way to Alderaan if it didn't get nuked. And Princess Leia, held prisoner on the Death Star, witnessed the whole thing. She never tried to stop it, even though she wasn't restrained. I mean, that just goes to show you how bad of a person she is. Chapter 4, Rescue the Princess. Rescuing the princess that didn't even care about her own people. Got it. After coming out of hyperspace, we discovered that Alderaan's in pieces. Sad to see that Chewbacca cares more about Alderaan than the Princess of Alderaan. Also, a TIE fighter shoots at us. We're pulled into the Death Star by a tractor beam and impersonate stormtroopers to evade capture. After capturing a room, Obi-Wan dips, 3PO and R2 hide. After more murder and hallways, we find this area. After some trauma, we find the command center of the prison. After we destroy the security cameras, we rescue the princess. But clearly the job's not done, because we still have to get off this thing. And reinforcements show up, so we go through the vents. Chapter 5, Death Star Escape. I guess this is where we escape now, isn't it? Nope, it's where we almost die. After being freed, thanks R2 and 3PO, we can now escape. Let's fast forward, because nothing eventful happens here. We finally make it to the point where the Millennium Falcon was buried in the ship and we have to bring it out of the ship. I know, and just like you, I totally understood what the hell I just said. We free the Millennium Falcon and Obi-Wan finally meets his end. What the hell just happened there? But before we get any answers, we escape. Chapter 6, Rebel Attack. Oh hey, I know that planet. That's Jupiter. Oh, it's called Yavin? They're just making up words at this point. Specifically, we're going to Yavin 4. For some reason, Yavin's moons are named as if they're sequels to Yavin. But who cares about that? There's a rebel base here that looks like a Mayan pyramid. It turns out that gift from Leia to R2, those are the Death Star plans. The rebels see how they can blow it up, and for some reason they act really angry after they do. Almost as if they hate anyone who's about to blow it up. God, I didn't know this series had so much self-loathing. We make our way from the beginning to the trench run. After we make it far enough along the trench, Han Solo shoots Darth Vader and he spins out. We're able to launch our torpedo into the ventilation shaft, and boom, Death Star nuked. My God, a stormtrooper's armor can't survive a blaster bolt, but it can survive a nuclear bomb? That's insane. Hashtag plot armor. Time to go back to Yavin 4, where we're awarded for our heroism and somehow meet the guy we already killed prior. 1, that kind of thing's what caused 9/11, and 2, what kind of security is that? But then again, that leads into my first point. Alright, now it's time for the quote, best Star Wars movie ever. Chapter 1, Hoth Battle. No original name, no nothing, just Hoth Battle. An Imperial Star Destroyer poops out these pricks. Luke Skywalker's looking for the Hoth equivalent of this. And before we can ponder the question of, is this a fetish? Is he mentally stable? Who are his parents? A giant horned Yeti kidnaps us. And instead of being eaten alive on the spot, Luke is hung by his feet and has easy access to his lightsaber in order to de-arm the Yeti. Han Solo's also out here, potentially looking for the same thing. God, is this a Star Wars fetish or something? The Empire can't deal with that, so they end up attacking. Even though that guy was literally vaporized, thank God his mustache survived. And because the Empire is attacking, we're defending ourselves in snow speeders. Annoying thing about the probe droids is that they can latch onto these bombs that you have to drag in order to blow things up to progress, and potentially they can cause them to blow up because they're pulling them in a direction you don't want them to. After we make it through all of this, we're next in a giant arena area. You have to go through 4 waves. The first being all probe droids, the next being all ATSTs, the next 2 AT-ATs, and the final wave being probe droids, ATSTs, and a walker. After all that, it turns out there are some walkers we missed, so Luke Skywalker gets shot down, and because of that, the co-pilot is killed, and to add insult to injury, he's stepped on. Then Luke single-handedly destroys a walker, and he digs himself out of the snow victorious. Chapter 2. Escape from Echo Base. Let's ignore the bad attempt at humor, and notice the walker that we totally took down. This walker shoots at the base, Han and Leia start hugging, Leia rejects the hug and starts feeling hormones. Hashtag foreshadowing. We jump into the level, and for some reason that guy that was in the cutscene isn't in the level. No idea what happened to him. After some effort and annoying snowtroopers, we make our way to the hangar with the Millennium Falcon. After some major destruction and some minor repairs, we escape Echo Base. Not before a brief makeout session. And right as Darth Vader is getting to us too. How convenient. We all of a sudden remember Luke exists, and he sees the Millennium Falcon fly right by, and somehow his X-Wing is perfectly where he is. Even though R2 theoretically doesn't know where he is. 'Cause that makes sense. Chapter 3. Falcon Flight. We're in space above Hoth, and arbitrarily we have to destroy 16 cannons to let these ships escape, even though the cannons aren't really firing at the ships. But, we'll just ignore that for right now. And by for right now, I mean forever. After we free the rebel ships, we then go through a giant asteroid field and make our way into this creature, which that's a lot cooler in the movie, but whatever. We only go into the creature to get torpedoes, and after that we destroy a giant asteroid with a bunch of torpedoes, and we hide on the back of an Imperial Star Destroyer's bridge, and then we fly away. Chapter 4. Gagabot. Again with the made-up names, my god. Welcome to a crash landing sequence. Just kidding. Welcome to Dagobah, where R2 gets kidnapped and rejected by a crocodile. We go to find Master Yoda, and if you're wondering what happened to Master Yoda after episode 3, yeah, he's been wasting his life here. Yoda treats us like Master Yoda decides to train us. In order to use the Force at this point, Yoda has to ride Luke. Get your damn mind out of the gutter. Hey, Luke can use the Force now, meaning beep beep, Yoda's playable now. Real quick, we have to fight a phantom Darth Vader for reasons. And Yoda gets our ship unsunk. Oh, that's what happened to Obi-Wan. How the hell did he get turned into a ghost? Again, just like always, we leave before we get any sort of explanation. Alright, just so you know, these next 2 chapters are weird. I mean, not story-wise, it's just the order chronologically, so I'm gonna put them in their proper order. Chapter 6. Betrayal over Bespin. Welcome to Cloud City. I hope I'm not going to have to explain why it's called that. We meet Lando Calrissian. He meets up with Han, decides to ignore him, and then kisses Leia. 3PO gets lured away to do something, and the group is lured into a trap with Darth Vader. Han Solo is put into carbonite as a test to whether the machine will work without killing him or not, because Darth Vader plans on putting Luke into this carbonite. Lando ends up turning against the Empire, and there we go. Wait. Oh my god. You can commit murder. Hell yeah. So while we murder our own people, we chase Boba Fett down and then try to kill him. And then, oh no, he escapes. Quick, time to go back to Chapter 5. Cloud City Trap. Luke finds his way to one of the landing pads in Cloud City. The second he steps out of the X-Wing, he's dressed as the pilot. And somehow, immediately after the cutscene, he insta-changes clothes. Is that something you can do if you're a Force user? And for some reason, these stormtroopers just materialize into existence and we just destroy our X-Wing to make a bridge. We make our way to Darth Vader. This isn't a phantom again, is it? Oh, it isn't. Thank God. For a second, I thought I was going insane. We make our way up here and take Darth Vader's last heart, and I'm gonna play a clip from the movie that portrays this better.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
impossible!
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
Alright, back to chapter 6. Boba Fett gets away and R2 reconnoiters with the group. We find 3PO in pieces and reassemble him. We escape, but we remember we have to collect Black-Eyed Luke, and after that, we finally escape. Isn't this the scene with the pervert robot hand? Yep. Yes, it is indeed. Before we move on to Return of the Jedi, I wanted to cover the 2 Lego City levels. They exist. Chapter 1, Jabba's Palace. My god, how long has it been since A New Hope? I mean, they already have a new Death Star mostly constructed. Anyway, Darth Vader lands in the Death Star. For reasons. Then we cut back to Tatooine, and oh dear god, please tell me we aren't going to see this again. Now, thank god for our eyes, we never see that again. But what we do see is... Sweet mother of Jesus. If anyone from my school saw that, they would flip. In order to find out how Leia lost her dignity, you need to like and subscribe and also hit the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. And yes, even I scare myself with my shameless plugs somehow. 3PO and R2 enter the building, and for some reason, Leia and Chewbacca also decide to follow them. We make our way into the palace and distract the palace guards by playing an off-key version of the Imperial March. Yep, I got nothing to say about that. We come across Luke Skywalker, who is now labeled as a Jedi. If you put this helmet on, it automatically turns you into a bounty hunter. Ah, hell yeah, Luke is a bounty hunter, sick! Later on, we find out what happened to 3PO and R2 and rescue them. Hey guys, you remember when Han got put in carbonite? For some reason, he's here now. Anyway, we free Han. Mr. Ugly himself shows up and enslaves Leia, and we kill a Rancor. Oh boy, this one's a mouthful. Chapter 2, The Great Pit of Carkoon. Luke is sent to be executed, and just kidding, he escapes. And we make our way to not kill Boba Fett. I mean, my god, how the hell does Boba even survive that? And for some reason, Leia waited all this time to kill Jabba. I mean, I shouldn't say Jabba the Hutt's dead, because they're gonna make a Disney Plus series about him, like 20 years after Return of the Jedi. And you could say that that's not gonna happen, but then again, Disney has a record of doing this, so why stop at Sidious? Or anyone else that died at all. We destroy the reactors of Jabba's hovering pirate ship, and also don't forget R2 and 3PO from the sand. Chapter 3, Speeder Showdown. Welcome to a planet that has another made-up name. This planet is called Endor. Endor what? I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. But what I can do is find you some speeders. After chasing a bunch of scout troopers and destroying a bunch of towers, we make it to this area. Go to the top of that structure and take control of an AT-AT? Hell yeah! Then use it to destroy the facility. Chapter 4. The Battle of Endor. Oh, look at that, the natives aren't friendly. They also seem to worship false gods, which is why the missions existed. Wait, what happened to 3PO trying to talk the Ewoks out of eating the gang? Luke says goodbye to Leia because he's gonna go off and do something, and he refrains from kissing Leia because he found out that she's his sister. Which, by the way, before we move on, let's just point out that, yeah, the prequel trilogy had its issues, but at least it didn't have incest. Our new goal is to take out the shield generator for the Death Star, so we have to get out of this treehouse and go through the forest in order to get there. We make it inside the building and place the charges, and bam, shieldless Death Star. Holy sh! Chapter 5, Jedi Destiny. Yeah, remember when Luke said he had to go do something? Yeah, he had to go get his lightsaber mocked. Luke Skywalker gets the privilege of seeing the man, the myth, the legend himself, Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious then tries to kill Luke and... What the fuck? Yay! Darth Vader's now Anakin again. We whittle down his hearts until Sidious survives this. Anakin dies as a Jedi, and his body's treated with respect. Chapter 6. Into the Death Star. Weren't we already in the Death Star? No, you see, we were in the old one. This one's the incomplete one. We have to dismantle the Imperial fleet by destroying a bunch of Star Destroyers. Now we head into the Death Star, but from a completely new angle. This totally makes it worth my time. We make our way to blow up the core and escape the Death Star. Oh my god, this section's playable. You know what? Never mind. Best level of the original trilogy. 10 out of 10. Would recommend again. Yay, we blow up the Death Star. And I think that's a war crime right there. Han and Leia decide to celebrate with romance. Adds closing, Luke Skywalker hides the evidence. Just kidding. He gives Anakin the standard funeral. I mean, hey, if Qui-Gon got it, certainly he should get it. And we end our story with a nice celebration. Yoda even died to join us. It's a bit weird that Yoda and Obi-Wan are accepting Anakin so quickly, even though last time they really, saw him, he committed child murder. So anyway, that was a good story. I wonder if I should do a video on the different extras that I didn't cover, because the last video was episodes 1 through 3 and the relevant bonus levels, and this video was the relevant bonus levels and 4 through 6. So, comment down below if you want something like that. Also, like this video, subscribe to my cozy corner, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Also, the share button exists. Help other people see this content. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a good day. See ya.